there, part 2 of the previous recording. These are our workers there. Yeah, basically what happened was like this strap thing wasn't bending and going through properly. I know how to, well, like, me and supervisor did it yesterday, but like, I was like holding it whilst, holding it, and he was like pushing it through in there. The strap, that is. So I was just going to do it myself and thought, wow, I've had multiple goes at this, so I'm getting frustrated. I started swearing at it. So I thought, I'll just stand and calm down. I calmed myself down, and then I had another go with it, and it just wasn't coming through. It was like the elastic was going up because there's supposed to be a hole, then there's a hole, and then you put the elastic through and you pull it through out. It comes, but you can't pull it and you can't get anything else to pull it out, or you have to bend it correctly, but elastic was already a bit bent, so I just didn't get it done correctly. So that was frustrating. There's something so little. Usually I am a guy who observes and does, and then with the songwriting, I have been just putting up the first ones that I write, the first edits, and for the most part, for the high majority of the time, I don't swear in my songs. But yeah, if the All Blacks have any home games here in Wellington, I'll be getting a ticket. And one of my aims is to go to there's 5 most famous stadiums here in New Zealand, but there's like 7 famous, like, for example, Mount Smart. The All Blacks played there last year, but that's because there's rugby league and there's rugby union, 2 separate games, but both very popular here in New Zealand, and that's the home ground for the New Zealand's only professional rugby league team. Yes. Just scanning this. That's the Warriors. The Warriors. But then there's Eden Park. That's the Auckland Blues home game. That's the rugby team. Home ground, sorry. And I've been there because I lived in Auckland until I was 14. So yeah, went to the first two ever Super Rugby finals. It was Auckland Blues versus Natal Sharks and Auckland Blues versus the ACTB Brumbies. That was in, I think, in 95 and 96. Blues won them both. But yeah, it's been like 27 seasons of that tournament now. Blues have won 3. The Crusaders have won a whopping, is it 12 or 13? It's one of those two. It's either 12 or 13. They win a lot. Hurricanes have won 1. Yeah, so you can tell that, if the Hurricanes have won 1 out of 27, 28 tournaments, 95 up until last year, because they're going to have their first home game in a month's time, so this tournament hasn't started. In the Crusaders, they won, not sure if it's 12 or 13, one of those two. It's pretty convincing enough to say that they're the best team. especially if they've won 7 in a row right now. That's why people go on about great consecutive seasons of great teams in the 80s, and those were the days. And I'm like, you do realise the Crusaders have won 7 tournaments in a row, 7 seasons in a row. And these guys are like, oh yeah, I remember back in the 80s when this team won 4 out of 5 seasons, and those were the glory days when they had the best champions, the older people like boomers in it. And I'm like, you do realise that right here, right now, the Crusaders have won 7 in a row. Yeah, so now it's frustrating about the segue. So yeah, adding on to the most previous recording, been to North Harbour Stadium to watch the Kiwis and the Kiwis games. Been to Mount Smart Stadium to watch the Little Warriors games. Went there last year for the All Blacks. When I was living in Auckland, I was there for the Warriors. Yeah, been to a few All Blacks games, Blues games at the Eden Park. So that's 1 out of the 5. There's 3 out of the 7 famous stadiums here in New Zealand, but one of the top 5, and then obviously McLean Park, but that's not in the top 5 in New Zealand or 7. And Westpac Stadium, Hurricanes. We're going to see the Black Caps in 13 days, 12 days now, and going to, just because I wanted to go to the Highlanders Stadium, because I could go to Forster's Bar and Stadium, or I can go to Eden Park for Pink, and I bought the tickets months ago, so yep, that'll be 3 stadiums out of 5 out of 7, and then gonna do the other 2. So yeah, I'll just go to those 2 Hurricanes games if they have a home final, which is highly likely. If the All Blacks have a home game. Yeah, let's see.